Hi friend, welcome to my channel. Before we even get started, I want you to close your eyes just for 1 second and breathe in. Take one beautiful breath into the center of your heart, into your chest, and fill those lungs with beautiful God source universal energy so that you can really come back to your magic. And as you exhale, drop those shoulders down, whatever you're carrying in the shoulders, in your body, just let it go. And remember that you have been brought to watch this. It's no coincidence. The universe brought you to this. And if you can choose to listen to this for the next few moments, it will serve you in the highest way possible if you set an intention like I did. When I created this channel, when I make these videos, or when I wrote my book Play, I wrote an intention that every word that I speak, whether it's of sharing my own journey and giving you the resources and the tools and the techniques that allowed me to shift my reality from crying on the kitchen floor, totally in debt, financial stress, hopeless, struggling to really find the magic in life, which I totally feel now and am living it, to being this highest version of myself. Everything that I share is going to serve you in activating your limitless potential, your ability to remember who you are, and you are the creator of your reality. So everything that I share on this channel, in the words I speak, is totally a remembrance of who you are, bringing you to that place where you remember, hang on, if I don't like myself or this current version, or if I don't like this reality that I'm living in, I don't like this empty bank account, or I don't like this depressed state, or I don't like this frustration in my life, in my body, or I don't like that, I have these dreams, but I don't know how to execute it. I don't like how I am feeling in my body, whatever it is, or how you're feeling in a relationship. You just remember that I created all of this and I get to change it. This is where you start believing in the fact that you are the creator of your reality, that everything in that you're living right now has been created by you. And this is where most people get stuck because they don't want to take ownership. They're like, I didn't do it. I didn't want shit in my life, but God, source, universe, brought it upon me. So I don't want to take responsibility. But we're always co-creating with God, source, universe, that higher power, that higher intelligence, right? And so if we take a radical responsibility of our part in it, which is, our old programming, is actually technically not your fault. It is what programming you have been attuned to. And so now you're operating from that. And the moment you realize, you come into your full power and you're like, hang on, it's not my fault. It is the programming that I've been operating on. So let me now go ahead and change my programming, upgrade my software, my thinking system, my belief system, so then I can actually literally create any new reality. And that's what this channel is all about. So today, I want to talk about a topic which is so close to my heart, which truly has transformed my life. And this is what I teach the humans who come into my world, whether it's my podcast, my books, my programs, my courses, or my very unique masterclass, which I'm going to talk about today. Like, I downloaded everything that I used to manifest all of this that I have, a multi six-figure personal brand, having had changed thousands of lives across the globe. I shared it in that masterclass, and I'm going to put the link below. But what I want to talk about today is, if you don't like yourself, create a new version of you. There we go. I said it. And some of you would be like, I don't want to hear this. And that's totally fine. If today this is not speaking to you, this is not feeling aligned, you're more than welcome to leave this video. But if you do want to stay, this is going to be a dose of truth because I'm sharing my own journey. I do not speak of anything that I have not experienced in my courses, in my books, in my podcast, in my channel. So I will share everything that truly helped me change that version of me, which I didn't like. So let's give you a little snippet of that version of me. For those of you who don't know my story, a couple of years back, I went through an unexpected divorce and I was really depressed and anxious and hopeless and, like consumed by the fear of the future, financial stress. And my 3 and 6 year old saw me crying on the kitchen floor. I will never forget that, even though I've forgiven that moment. I've done all that inner work. I will never forget that moment because I think that moment was probably a catalyst in my desire to change my reality. So my journey from that point where my 3 and 6 year old saw me crying on the kitchen floor to where I am today, that version of me was broken. That version of me was sad, was depressed, was like, can somebody just help me? I feel helpless. Can God source universe just help me? Can you bring me some money? Can you give me some direction? Can you just give me some healing? I want to feel better. I want to feel like I would stand and cry under the shower because I just had so much pain inside me. From that version to who I am today, like I still stand under the shower and cry, but those are tears of joy. I still do because life is so magical. And I kid you not, it is when you decide you want to make it magical. And I want to give you all these things that I did and I applied, and not necessarily everything will work for you, but you will also, go around making them yours, and you'll have your own story. You'll have your own song that you want to sing to the world because you did something and you're an embodiment of it and you want to help people change their life. So I'm going to share my song, and hopefully that song is going to help you activate something within you and give you the tools and the techniques that are going to help you shift your reality. So let's talk about the fact, what is it you don't like right now? What you do not like in your current version? Take a moment and acknowledge it, because every change starts with acknowledgement, with acceptance. And if we're in denial of something, we will never be able to change it till we acknowledge it, we accept it. From acceptance comes the shift, comes the change, comes the breakthrough. And sometimes people are just not ready to accept where they're at, and that's fine. That just means they want to be there. But here's the thing, you're not a tree. You can move. You don't like where you are, just move. And I've had, I don't know, like thousands of people come into my world in the last few years. And the very first thing I hear from all of them, which was pretty much me when I started this journey, was I don't think you get it, what my challenges are. I get you've done this, you've been able to, but you don't understand my challenges. And when I hear these from thousands of people, the challenges pretty much are the same or similar, and they are basically the stories we've been telling ourselves. That's what we want to break through, right? That's what is something that's stopping you, and that's what you want to break through. But most people actually come when they come and they realize, come into my world, or they're looking for, you've hit a point where you're like, I'm actually frustrated with this. I need to go look for help. You start looking on Google, you start finding things, feeds, things are coming into your Instagram, in Facebook, on YouTube, because the universe is now bringing you that because you're on the frequency that shift, 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 or you're just getting those clues. I call them creative components. That's something I learned from Abraham Hicks. But here's the thing. So you're getting all of this. So first is to acknowledge, accept where you're at. Now, where even after acceptance, most people get stuck. And if I can tell you from my own experience, is stop judging yourself. So when you acknowledge and you accept where you're at, most people get caught up there. It's like, oh my God. And there's so much shame and guilt and resentment for their own selves and the people who brought them to this point, that they are not able to move any further. They're just consumed by the shame, guilt, and resentment. And if you've seen the Hawkins frequency chart, I highly recommend you do that. It teaches you about frequency, and we are energetic beings, right? So it's very important to understand what are the frequencies you're operating at, what are the 50 trillion cells in your body operating at, what's the vibration, what's the frequency, because that's what's making your health, your energy, your reality, everything that you're attracting from this universe into your universe, right? So the moment you acknowledge and accept, don't go on the tangent of shaming yourself, release, release, release. That's why I think one of the things that I did was starting to journal. Like, I don't know how many pieces of journals, notebooks. You don't have money, you go buy a $2 notebook. If you have lots of money, buy a fancy journal wherever you're at. Because in my own journey, I've seen clients with, multi seven figures coming into my world and doing this work, and clients who are having no money. Like, I was broke and I was the single mom, and I just, when you're ready, you just find a way. And I share this in my book, like, when you want to shift your reality and you hit that point and it's like a yes, it's a decision, you feel it or in every cell of your body, in those 50 trillion cells, it's like, I am ready, I'm doing this, I've decided. And when you do it with so much conviction, you send a jolt into the universe, and the universe starts working with you because now it can feel your decision in your thoughts, in your feelings, and in your actions, right? And I want to jump into that in a moment. Like, what can you do today? If you don't like your reality, you don't like this current version of you, what is that you can do to change it? Because that's where most people get stuck, right? So I want you to take a moment and I want you to just become aware of the things that you don't like in your reality right now. You can take one area of your life. If you have a couple of areas, just take one. Maybe it's money. Maybe it's just you're sick of feeling the lack, always saying no to things which you want to say yes to for yourself, for your kids, for your partner, for your parents, for your siblings, the people you love. Maybe it's your relationship. You're not liking where you're at in your relationship. So be very specific and observe what is the version of you that you don't like in a particular reality, whether it's your money reality, whether it's your parenthood reality, whether it's your, purpose reality, whether it's your relationships reality. Just observe it. Now, you can do this in your own time, but now that you see something, you acknowledging it, you can go through the process of acceptance. And that's something that I can't tell you, because you will go through your own process, whether it happens in a second or whether it takes you a week or 20 days to just accept where you're at, because acceptance of where we're at is a big, big step in us fully deciding that we're ready for the shift. Now, you don't like this version of you don't like this reality that you're in, and you want to change it. Step number one was to accept, was to acknowledge. Step number two is the most important step, is to decide. Is to decide that you are no longer available for this past version of you, and you have decided to create a higher version of you. You've decided to create a new version of you, because that new version will change your reality. As Dr. Joe Dispenza says, Dr. Joe Dispenza changed my life. His work is amazing. If you don't know about him, go look up. My body of work is a lot of inspiration from his work. And he talks about your personality creates your personal reality. And your personality right now, if there's a part of you, of your current version, that you don't like, it's creating that reality that you don't like. So it's important to know that if you're not enjoying this personality, you want to change your personality to create a new personal reality. And the moment you decide, there's a shift in your energy. Because I look back and how I got here to this level of success, this level of self-love, this level of magic in my life, this level of just feeling whole from that version of me, which was broken and depressed and, just always not having the personal power and hoping that, oh my God, the universe can help me. Somebody please help me. I just can't go on like this. And saying no to things which I really wanted, but I couldn't afford to, or for my kids, to here where I am fully in my personal power, where I realize that, hang on, it is my own beliefs, it's my own decisions, it's my personality that is creating my personal reality. It is my own personal power that brings the things to me that I want. And when I did that, like the very first thing that happened for me was I started moving differently. So I started thinking differently, I started feeling differently, and I started acting differently. So when you decide who you want to be, and oftentimes, we're not clear who we want to be, but we are very clear. We've decided we don't want to be the person we are being right now. That is enough. So acknowledge, accept, and then decide. And the decision is enough for you to start moving in that direction. And I love, there's something I learned, I think a couple of years back, which I share a lot in my courses, with my clients and in my book as well. When you really are committed to something and you start moving towards it, that thing starts moving towards you. So I want you to decide that you're unavailable for this version of you. Now, step 3 would be to identify who you want to be. And that's when you start thinking about what's your higher version, right? Who do you want to be? Because that is something I really discuss a lot in my masterclass, which is, like I squeezed all the juice from my manifestation courses. Like, this is how I manifested, 6 figures, 120K in less than 12 months. This is how I manifested my $500,000 home when I was on welfare. And most banks said, no, we can't give you a loan. So how did I manifest it? How did I manifest my beautiful, gorgeous little red, sports car? Because Source told me one day, it's like, go get this. And I'm like, how am I going to do this? And, anyways, when you decide, and you decide with conviction, and, you just tell yourself mentally, energetic, spiritually, on all levels that you are fully moving towards that thing starts moving towards you. You start moving differently. And you start, your electromagnetic signature changes, which is basically how you think, feel, and act. So, and there is, I think I have a masterclass on it somewhere in my vault. But what I want you to do today is really get clear on what's that highest version of you. And if you want to know more about details, like you need assistance in getting to understand, like simple questions would be to ask, what do they like? What do they enjoy? What are the things they cannot tolerate? What are the things that really activate them? What are the things that speak to their soul? What is that they're doing every day when they get up? How are they feeling when they get up? Are they waking up and going like, oh my God, another day? Or they're like, I love my life. And they wake up, they put their hand on their heart and they say, I love myself. I love this life. I am so grateful. I'm so grateful now that I have XYZ. And they already know that they're manifesting the next thing because they've already manifested what they once wanted, right? Like where I am today, I have gotten here by this exact proven formula. And now I'm manifesting the next reality. So from that reality, here was the work that I did, and it's like a step by step proven formula. And that is in my masterclass, which is called How I Turn My Desires into My Reality. I had a desire to be a six-figure entrepreneur, then I turned into a multi-six-figure brand. But when I was this version crying on the kitchen floor, on welfare, and how I manifested the home, how I manifested the other things, how I manifested clients around the world so I could help people change their life. Because, once I had done it and I was like, this thing works, I could not stop talking about it. I want to share it with a million people. I want to positively impact a million lives. Of course, probably more. But so I've shared it all in the masterclass. You can grab it. I will put the link below if you want it. From this place of clarity, when you know who are they, what do they stand for, what do they believe they're capable of, and what do they believe they're not capable of, because your beliefs are creating your reality. What do they think they have? What are the things they think they don't have? What are the things, that they really truly enjoy? What are the things they don't enjoy? When you start getting clear on these, you're getting to know you're getting to know more about your highest version. You cannot become something you don't know. Because if you are operating from your autopilot, which is your old programming, which was, by the way, not even your programming, so what are you blaming yourself for? That was a programming fed into you by your teachers, by your parents, all unconsciously, by the way, because your parents do want you to, have the perfect life. But somewhere they didn't know, when they were feeding us their own belief, which was passed by their parents, right? That they are literally blocking us, giving us limiting beliefs, and giving us beliefs that are going to take away our personal power. And these beliefs, this programming that's been given to you, once you realize that, hang on, it's something I can change, you start coming more into your personal power. And in my own experience, and I share about this in my book, Play, you can grab a copy from Kindle, Amazon. You can go onto my website, the link's there below. It's $2.99 on Kindle. Honestly, this is the best thing you can do for yourself. Everything that I've ever done, I have put it on there. But if you want a systematic, proven formula, like bite-sized, step-by-step things that I did, and some of my personal manifestation rituals that I haven't even shared in my courses, but I've had so much success with them that I had to put this in the masterclass. That masterclass, how I turned my desires into my into my reality, is on my website as well. I share in my book the same thing, that it is when you start realizing that, you just don't want the things you don't want, and the things that you want, you start realizing that, hang on, the things that I didn't want came into my reality because I created it. And that means that I am so powerful that if I can create the shitty reality, I can create the good reality. Like you did once, before you created this shitty reality, you were in a good reality, right? And so it is about recognizing that you are the creator of your reality, that you can draw anything from this multiverse when you decide to bring it into your life. And I am giving you those tools inside that masterclass. Today was really about deciding that if you don't like a current version, if you don't like your reality, first coming into the remembrance that you created this, radical responsibility that you created this. If you can create this, you can create the reality that you most want for yourself, your desired reality, right? And you can literally move into new timelines. I talk a lot about quantum leaping in my book. That is something really close to my heart because this is how I collapse time. Within 12 months, I went from doing $80 sessions to making my 120K in 12 months in my coaching and mentorship, business, and how I started creating different things, and how currently I'm actually working on an app that you can use from the comfort of your home for free, which you put on and it helps you rewire, reprogram your brain to completely new beliefs that will help you create a reality, whether it's more money, whether it's health, whether it's deep, deep meaningful relationships, whether it's you have a dream and you don't know how to execute it, you don't have, the belief that you are worthy, it's going to help you do that. I'm working with a couple of developers and my team on that. How exciting. Now, when I look back, that old version of me never could imagine I could do all these things. And step by step by step by step by step, I built unwavering faith. I had to start doing things which my past version wouldn't like. But when I knew that my highest version does these things daily or regularly, I started moving differently. This is where I want you to understand that once you decide who you're becoming and you really commit to that, and you literally commit to this identity switch, you become a new identity, a new version. There is a switch that you flip the switch and you go like, I am now becoming unavailable for the past version. So next time, some situation comes where your autopilot goes like, well, that's how I'm supposed to respond. I'm supposed to get angry, upset, or I'm supposed to feel helpless. And you go like, but I decided I'm going to be unavailable. Because you've decided, your brain starts looking for new ways to think, feel, and act. And you do this multiple times and regularly believing in yourself. According to neuroscience, it takes 21 days for you to build new neural pathways. And this app is going to help you do that. But when you decide something and you commit to this and you regularly feed your subconscious mind with regular, these empowering beliefs, your brain will start firing neurons differently. You will start firing new neurons which are supporting this reality that you're walking towards. So I want to keep it simple today. Hopefully I can put another video this week or maybe next week giving you the steps. But if you are really keen and you want to start manifesting the things that you truly want right now in your life, and there's something blocking you, you've done the work, you've done so many meditations, you've done so many full moon rituals, you've done so many new moon rituals, you've done so many manifestation masterclasses, and still there's something in your life that is not happening. It's because there is a limiting belief. It's because there is a glass ceiling, there's a block that you need to break through. And when you break through it, what really happens is you come into your personal power. So if you really look at it, manifestation is not a set of rituals. Yes, those rituals help, but manifestation is you coming into your personal power. Manifestation is you recognizing that you are the creator of your reality and that you hold so much power, and you step into that personal power. You begin to start thinking differently, you begin to start feeling differently, and you begin to start acting differently. You start being that version of you start being that highest version of you till you become it. And suddenly, one day you wake up and you start feeling differently. It's called timeline shifting, by the way. I have a course on it. We'll talk about it later in a couple of, few other videos. But what I want you to remember is that you are more powerful than you think you are. So manifestation is really bringing you back to your personal power. So today, do some homework, sit down and write the things that you are now going to become unavailable for, and create a new identity that you're walking towards. That is your highest version. And that once you decide that to become this highest version, who is so thriving in life, who's loving life, who's feeling whole, who's feeling loved, who's oozing in love, who's feeling so much self-love that when anybody comes in their presence, they start feeling love, who is feeling so magnetic, who's feeling so much confidence that they feel they can do anything. So next time when a thought comes that they want to do something and the autopilot goes like, but you're not going to be able to do it, they're going to laugh, you're not good enough, you can't talk properly, how are you going to make a YouTube video, how are you going to even share this, nobody's going to listen to you, you go like, but I'm gonna do it anyway, right? And that's how you keep becoming more of a solid version of that, right? So I'm gonna leave you with this, and make sure you hit the bell button, you subscribe so I can bring you more of these tips and techniques. And if you want to connect more with me, my email is connect at the Prachi, Prachi, Mehra.com. The link, I'll put a link below. I am so glad that we shared this time today. I'm so glad that the universe brought you this video. I am so glad that you are on this journey of transforming your reality. Because guess what? I have never met anyone in their life who has decided and who's walked towards it and who has unwavering faith and believes in their new reality and has not gotten it. I have not met one person like that in my life. And I have heard million stories. My mentors, Bob Proctor, Tony Robbins, Dr. Joe Dispenza, so many of them, where there are millions of stories of people manifesting the reality that they want and walking away from pain, misery, lack of power, right? Despair, limitations, confusion, really into soulful clarity, into limitlessness, into feeling this personal power that you have. And my book's really all about it. So if you're excited, go grab a copy. I want to hear everything that is manifesting in your life, and I want to hear about all the blessings and the miracles and the manifestations that are starting to arrive in your world as you go do that masterclass that I spoke about, or you listen to my podcast. By the way, if you haven't downloaded my free worthiness shift meditation, it's on my podcast. That is something I do daily. That's what started making me feel worthy. Because of the old wounding, the first thing is that we really need to work on our worthiness, because it's wounded through our life experiences. And when you decide and you start believing that you're worthy of every desire, you literally turn those desires into your reality. That's what the masterclass is about. That's what my meditation is about. And I want to give you every tool that I know that helps shift my life. Thank you for being here today. I will see you guys soon. Mwah.